All right, folks, we are live now. Happy to have you with us here. I'm meteorologist Tom Schmidt, or Twister Tom, here at Ozarks First. And we got some thunderstorms coming through. There is one severe thunderstorm warning right now. That's down in Howell County. Okay, that's West Plains. The storm right now is coming through eastern Douglas County and eastern Ozark County. So if we go ahead and jump into radar real quick, we're looking at some thunderstorms this morning. Now in Springfield, it's mostly a rain event. The severe weather hazard here in Springfield is on the much lower side for us, right? We have some boundary. The cold front is undercutting the storm risk here. So we're really focusing now on what's happening here down in Howell County. Okay, so the Weather Service has outlined this area here. And notice it's not a bright yellow box. It's kind of a dull yellow box. And what that tells us in our system is that that is a thunderstorm where the Weather Service has indicated tornado possible. All right, so it's not, hey, my gosh, tornado happening. But there's just enough to kind of make people go, well, let's see here. Just kind of leaning forward. And if we zoom in, it does look like the latest scan, the part we were looking at has kind of weakened some. Okay, there it is. But we're looking right near Siloam Springs. Okay, so let me get a pointer going here, and I'll kind of point out what they're looking at, what we're eyeing. It's right there. That would be kind of the spot, okay, that is being highlighted for that tornado possible part of the thunderstorm warning. Again, it's very low confidence. It's not a tornado warning. Okay, but the Weather Service has added the language into the text warning of this thunderstorm that, hey, there could be this area. We're just keeping an eye on it. That's all this is, all right? Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. Just kind of a tornado possible tag right there, all right? So just southwest, that is, of Siloam Springs. Not a big deal. I'm not jumping up and down about it this morning. It's overall pretty low risk for now. Otherwise, it looks like a wind event. They got some winds possibly of 50 to 60 miles an hour within this line. You can see that line kind of fairly stout from Kabul, okay, down to the Willow Springs area, down into, again, Dora, Siloam Springs, and down towards really kind of bending back to the southwest once you get into parts of southern Ozark County. But just north of Bakersfield, all the way up to Kabul, is where that storm is on the, again, the stronger side. So Willow Springs, folks, Pomona, all right, in Howell County, Siloam Springs, West Plains, down towards South Fork, all right, Lanton eventually, and then down into northern Arkansas, from Sturkey, Viola, Henderson, kind of drops off there, right? But that's what we're looking at now this morning. It's not a big deal, not crazy. This is kind of the one game in town. I just want to jump on beforehand, just in case something else was issued, but it was not. And we're not looking at anything urgent for the time being. Overall, things are fairly quiet in terms of severe weather. Not much going on. This is the one game in town. All right, go ahead and zoom out, I guess, and we'll take a look at the rest of it. While keeping an eye on that. Let's jump down here to northern Arkansas. You folks in Harrison, eventually over to Yellville, Lead Hill. All right, looking down at Jasper too. Some thunderstorms, a little strong for sure, but not severe across northern Arkansas. So in Harrison, maybe some gusty winds, 40 miles an hour possibly. Some small hail, dime-sized at most. Really haven't seen a lot of hail today, so I'm not really leaning that way with this. And then that extends, of course, into Gainesville before it gets to that stronger storm section, now moving into Howell County. All right. But down here in northern Arkansas, nothing severe, nothing really standing out. You can see this yourself. It's a little disorganized, right? So no real organization there, which is good. When it looks kind of disorganized and scattered like this, we can kind of dismiss it as just regular thunderstorms. Now, heavy rain, a lot of lightning, absolutely, maybe some gusty winds, small hail, but nothing that's going to really cause any serious damage. No serious concerns or threats immediately down across northern Arkansas from Harrison to Yellville, back towards the Mountain Home area, and down south into Jasper. But nothing crazy concerning or really concerning that much at all across northern Arkansas right now. Okay, as we continue to jump around here, let's take a look at the Springfield area. I mentioned that the storms in Springfield down to southwest Missouri from Cassville to Anderson back to northeast Oklahoma, they're being undercut by a boundary, okay? And you can kind of make it out. There's a faint green line right here, and these storms are coming in with a cold front. But right here, from Shell Knob up to Galena, okay, that boundary there, that is the outflow boundary of this storm. And so it's very disorganized, right? And that outflow boundary is helping to kind of cut away or cut under the severe weather risk with these storms. So nothing severe. You can see it's kind of splotchy, nothing really crazy. Some heavy rain, which we really don't need more of at this point because we've had an inch or two already across the Queen City. But Marshfield, Phillipsburg, Lebanon, all right, Waynesville, Fort Wood, anywhere up there, St. Robert, you're going to find some heavier rain moving in again with this second and final round coming that way. But that's not very strong. Okay, so we have an updated thunderstorm warning. It looks like they've dropped the tornado possible tag with it. Let me check here, though, real quick just to make sure. But it is leaning that way. All right, yeah, so the tornado possible tag has been removed from that storm warning. And now it's just a severe thunderstorm, which is still, don't want to ignore that, right? Obviously, you're going to have some gusty winds in there. I think wind is the primary hazard with this storm going towards West Plains, all right? South of Willow Springs, Pomona, you'll be involved in that warning as well for some stronger winds, 50 to 60, so nothing crazy. Maybe some power bumps with this as that moves through, maybe. Usually it takes a little bit more wind to do that. But you folks there from, White Church, Pomona, Siloam Springs, you're right in the middle of it now, to West Plains, a low-end severe thunderstorm, which is still, severe. Gusty winds, like I said, heavy rain, a lot of thunder and lightning, of course, maybe some small hail. We were watching that tornado potential with it right there, but that has really faded away. Let me put it on a time lapse to really make out what triggered that warning to begin with. Pretty weak. Let me slow it down. Okay, so let's go back here a little bit. If I drag it slowly, there's where it started. All right, so I'm going to pan left more. Put the pointer on here. That's where it started, okay, right there. That's what kind of got us to lean forward as meteorologists. We're like, okay, what's going to happen here? And then watch that spot as I advance forward a little bit. Still kind of holding a little bit south of Dora. And as we go forward to the latest scans, it's kind of washed out. It's not as clear. And so the tornado possible tag has been removed. And now it's just a regular severe thunderstorm, which is still plenty strong, right? 50 or 60 mile an hour winds, maybe less than that. It doesn't look particularly strong on radar. But some wind, some hail, possibly, not big hail. Dime-sized at most, so non-damaging hail with this storm, if any. In fact, we can take a look at our hail detector, and let's see. Yeah, not much. Right, not really a hail event. Not even a wind event either. There's really just not much out there. Otherwise, back to radar. Locally heavy rain and some lightning with this. Turn on the lightning detector. Yeah. All right, that's a good-looking scan there, right? This latest scan came out looking very disorganized. It's not a strong, stout, flat line, right, moving in. It's kind of it's got some cracks in it. It's got some holes, some gaps, and breaks. That's good. More disorganization. We'll take that. All right, let's jump on over back to the Facebook feed. I've been kind of ignoring the questions here, so let me jump on and see if there are any. Where is a tornado possible? That was Howell County, all right, and it's not a tornado possible tag is not a tornado warning. Okay, it's like we've identified an area that we're watching, but it's not really enough to issue a tornado warning, so it's not a big deal, right? We're just kind of watching it. It's not Springfield. That's not what we're talking about, and that has now since been removed. So tornado threat right now is it's gone with this storm. Is this live? Yes, it is. Has he said anything about Springfield? Springfield's in the good. We're in the clear right now. Some rain and thunderstorms, yeah, but nothing too intense. The biggest threat right now in Springfield is going to be the flooding, the flood risk, all right? So out the door Saturday morning, if you have any water crossings, low spots, if you're typical flood-prone areas, they may be dealing with some water issues early Saturday morning if you're going out the door. Rain-wise, I think by 7 a.m., we'll take a look at it here in a minute too, I guess. By 7 a.m., rain and storms in Springfield, we're done. We're in the clear. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Okay, people answering. Right now, it's just this one spot in the yeah, it's true. Coolio, I'm going to sleep then. Thanks for keeping us in the loop. You got it. All right, yeah, Coolio is right. It's it's wound down quite a bit. Zooming out, I'll zoom out a little bit. So we are focusing on that spot. I was looking right here. Okay, there's the pointer. I was looking right there. That's the line I was watching for the thunderstorm risk, and it's going away. It's weakening. It's not a big risk at all, and nothing crazy. So even if you're in West Plains, if you're in Willow Springs, might wake up from some thunder and lightning, but I would say nothing urgent. Don't need to panic. Nothing like that. If you wanted to go back to bed, I wouldn't blame you. I'm kind of leaning back in my chair now as that passes back. Nothing really at this point. Okay, looking elsewhere, back into Springfield. Oops, got 2 pointers. Back into Springfield now. Again, just some rain, clap of thunder occasionally. Nothing wild, nothing crazy. You're welcome. Joan Jeff, thanking for the coverage. You've got it. Anytime. I'm here, so I may as well jump on and make use of my time right at 3:30 in the morning. Let's see here. Jess says the creek behind her apartment is flooding, but I can't get pictures right now. Understandable. That's all right. But okay, yeah, we are going to see some creek flooding. If your backyard backs up into a creek, your yard will probably be a little smaller, following all the rain we've seen, with more to go. We're not done with rain yet, and so we're still going to pick up some additional rainfall. Speaking of that, let's talk about it, right? Let's look at today's rain. Springfield Airport has not reported a lot of rain, okay? So keep that in mind. I'm going to take this full screen, too, and drop that bottom part. Let's see. But anyway, you can see the rain. Yeah, you know what? Hit or miss on the bigger totals. But Springfield officially only picking up maybe, yeah. No tornado warning in Springfield, just a regular thunderstorm. So question on the chat there from Sage. No tornado warnings at this time. None. We're good there, just a thunderstorm. All right, so looking at rainfall totals again, Springfield to the airport, officially 0.6 of an inch. A lot of you are probably looking at that like, what? Raising eyebrows, thinking that's not right. And it's probably not for a lot of us, as we've seen areas that have picked up, 1, 2, 3 inches of rain. That's on top of 1, 2, 3 inches of rain from Wednesday. So all said and done, there are some spots in the Ozarks that'll see a half a foot of rain between Wednesday and last night this morning. So that's what we got there. But rainfall, it's been pretty heavy at times. Some spots have picked up, like I was saying, 2, 3 inches of rainfall. And there will be some flooding on those flood-prone areas. Low spots, if there's any kind of low water crossings, creeks, rivers, ponds, lakes, that kind of thing, they will be full following this week's thunderstorm events. Let's take a look at the timeline real quick. All right, let's look at what we can expect to see from here on Futurecast. So starting right now, going through about 5 a.m., the storm risk is going to continue to be on the low side. Right now, there's one severe storm that's down in Howell County, so looking at West Plains. Other than that, just some rain and thunderstorms across the area. That's going to continue through about 7 a.m., all right, especially near and east of Highway 63. So Springfield, Branson, Harrison, eastward, going to find the rain and storms continue through about sunrise. I think in Springfield by 7 a.m., 8 a.m., rain is ending. And there might even be some thunderstorms still lingering in West Plains, Eminence, down towards Ash Flat, Arkansas, down towards Melbourne, Arkansas. That's your timeline there for thunderstorms ongoing. Then they'll end there. I think we're done with thunderstorms probably by 9 a.m. Okay, it'll all be east of our area into Illinois, into Tennessee, all right, as we go to about 9 or 10 o'clock this morning. So there might be some lingering rain showers, but nothing big expected an hour or two after sunrise. By noon today, this is Saturday noon, we're looking at a cloudy sky and much cooler weather, too. We'll be in the 50s today with the north wind in Springfield, but sky's going to be staying mostly cloudy. Speaking of that forecast for today, following rain and storms this morning, which right now Not looking overly impressive. Just some rain and thunderstorms occasionally. Following that for the afternoon, we're going to find temperatures in the 50s, maybe some 40s farther northwest, and a mostly cloudy sky with a northwest breeze. So a cooler day on the way for us on this Saturday. All right, but the rain, in Springfield, I'd say by 8 o'clock, we're done. It'll be gloomy. It'll be damp. Sure. Obviously, things will still be very wet, but the rain itself should have come to an end. Give it about 3 or 4 hours from now. So looking at 8 o'clock this morning, that risk will subside. Okay, so looking at one severe storm warning. This is down in West Plains, all right? So if you're in West Plains, it's not as organized as it was before. This also extends, next scan. Okay, a little tightening there. But it's still just a severe thunderstorm warning. Kind of a stout line, all right? So wind is all we're looking at with this. Let's take a look at velocity data, so to see if we can pick up any kind of spinning. Earlier on, there was a weak sign, but right now it's not looking like too much. Man, anybody in Pomona right now? If you're in Pomona and you're watching the Facebook live stream, let me know. That looks like some winds trying to show up a little bit there. Let me see the comments here again. All right, I'm going to start with Sage. Is that through the rest of this morning? Yes. For Futurecast, that was for the rest of this morning, what we just went through. Moody, Missouri. Okay, that's down here. Rain just now starting. All right. All right, so Moody, that'd be south of where we're looking at here, south of West Plains. That would be rain. It's fine. Anything about Lebanon, Missouri? Lebanon's pretty quiet. Rain and thunderstorms, but the severe risk for you all is done with. I can confidently say Lebanon, no more severe weather, you're done. That risk is over. As what we had with round one has kind of washed out the atmosphere. There's not a lot of energy left over. And so Lebanon, you're good. Some more rain. You'll find rain for sure, but nothing too crazy. Okay, and then Jane saying thank you for keeping us informed. My pleasure, as always. All right, wind speeds. I'm going to query the data here. All that means I'm just going to start poking around and find some wind speeds. Where do we have the query? Oh, there it is. And it'll flash out some numbers for us. So what's our radar say the wind speed is? 75. That seems a little high. We're getting a little far away from the radar, too. So it's reading wind speeds probably 3,000 feet above the ground. And so at the surface, it may not be 75 miles an hour. But it could still be 60, 65. That's a possibility for those wind gusts there going into Pomona. That's on its way to Mountain View, all right, northern Howell County. That'll eventually go towards Winona as well in southern Texas County. I'm sorry, that's Shannon County. As we look at Winona and then off towards Van Buren, it's kind of a stronger wind pocket. But winds, like the query on there says 75, but again, that's about 3,000 feet. 3,000 feet above the ground. So this line here, all right, the brighter color line, you're going to find winds 40 to 50, and at times they may exceed 60 miles an hour. Back there where it gets kind of the orange colors. Okay, anybody in Pomona? Let's see what we got. No. Anybody West Springs, West Plains or Willow Springs? Anybody in that area? I'd love to see what your wind speeds are. Mountain View, if you're watching right now, I'd love to see it. What you all going to be getting there? All right, let's zoom back out. So there you go. Thunderstorms still in play. I'm going to show you something. Take a look at the instability. This will give you a good idea of what we're looking at in terms of where is the storm risk right now. Okay? So instability levels behind this thunderstorm line there from Mountain View to West Plains, anywhere behind that line, so Springfield, Mountain Grove, Marshfield, Phillipsburg, Branson, that storm has used up a lot of the energy. But east of there, Eminence, Van Buren, Doniphan, Alton, Bakersfield, Salem, Arkansas, you still have instability in place because nothing has come through there yet, okay? I'm going to take a look at the instability. I got to find it. There's a lot of items on here, and there it is. Found it. This is what we call CAPE. It'll take a minute to load. But CAPE, C-A-P-E, capitalized, stands for Convective Available Potential Energy. There's your information for the day. And as this loads, we're going to be waiting to watch that this will likely be lower, if anything at all, back to the west, and might find some low instability back to the east, all right, ahead of that storm line. All right, nothing's popping up yet. That's good. I'm a little confused. I think our data is just taking slow to load. All right. I'll give it a few more moments here. I'll take a look at some chats. All right, Autumn in West Plains. All right, thank you, Autumn. Got a report coming in. Thunder with this storm. All right, thank you for that. Stephanie said winds went through Willow Springs about 10 minutes ago. Wasn't terrible. Okay, so we're probably looking 40, I'd guess, 40 or 50. Yeah, that's not that bad. Pretty calm wind-wise, a lot of thunder and lightning currently. Yes. Okay, this instability is taking a long time to load. Let's talk about some lightning. I think we have a lightning counter. Oh, what do you know? Speak of the devil. There's your instability. That took a long time to load. Looking at the instability, yeah, some low levels. Not a lot. Northwest Arkansas, you still have some instability resting there, so I don't want to put you in the clear yet. And there is, you can see where that cold front is, right? Right, we get the pointer out. This is where the cold front is. Right there. So instability drops off pretty sharply behind where the instability, behind the cold front, right? So that line right there, that cutoff, that's where the cold front is. Anywhere ahead of that cold front, and where there's been untouched energy, which includes northern Arkansas and some places, still going to be a low-end severe weather risk. And I believe there is a tornado watch. Okay, that's a watch, not a warning. A watch for some parts of northern and central Arkansas. We'll take a look at that here in a moment as well. Right now, there's nothing concerning. Nothing happening now. All right, so don't worry about that. Okay, what was it going to do? Oh, lightning. Yeah, I heard reports of lightning come in. Okay, let's take a look at that. I think it's down at the bottom somewhere. Oh, there it is. All right. Overall, 419 strikes. That includes Springfield, but yeah, you can see a lightning core right here. Yeah, a lot of it. In the past 10 minutes, there's been 100 lightning strikes with this storm system going through parts of Howell County. So there you go. You're talking about thunder and lightning? Yeah, you got it. Okay, looking back at radar, kind of a stronger portion of the line. One severe thunderstorm warning north of West Plains going to White Church on Highway 17. That'll go towards Franklin and then over towards Thomasville. Woohoo. Chapel, Birch Tree, Mountain View. All right. We're looking at you now. Montier. Date. Summersville. Alley Spring. Boy, I'd love to go to Alley Spring. I see so many pictures of it. I got to get there. That's a place I'm going to go coming up soon. I'm going this spring. I can tell you that. Over to Eminence. And we had a question about Salem up north. You'll be some thunderstorms. Yes. That's all you're going to see, though. All right. So Salem, for you asking the question, rain and thunderstorms with the severe weather risk for you is pretty low. All right, the main risk now we're looking at is right here. You can kind of make it out yourself. That stronger line segment right here. There it is. That's kind of the stouter, the stronger part of the storm. One little bit of that is severe with some wind. I'd guess 50 to maybe 60, but probably closer to 50 miles an hour. Maybe some small hail, but haven't had any reports of that. And a lot of heavy rain, yeah. Katie Jackson in West Plains says it is downpouring. All right, so pretty crazy. Let's see if I can figure this out. Let's do a test message. No. All right, looks like that's not. I'm trying to pull up the comments, and I think the comment thing is not. It's not set up properly. No, so oh well. Okay, I'll just read them off though. No rain yet in southeast West Plains. Probably is by now. Yep, I bet so. Salem, Missouri, we talked about that. Katy Jackson, again, West Plains, it's a downpour. It sure is. It sure is. That's it. That's the only game in town. Not much going on. Some obviously heavy rain. I was saying not much going on. There's obviously thunderstorms, but there's nothing urgent or that really important you guys need to know about. Just some heavy rain, thunder and lightning, gusty winds. That's all. From Mountain View up towards, again, Summersville area, and then extending up towards Salem. The only severe part is right there, north of West Plains, a little yellow box. That's going to move into northern Oregon County and southern Shannon County here pretty soon. Check the chat. Anything going on here? No, nothing. Nothing new. All right. So we're good. We're rocking and rolling still. I'm just going to stay on here. There's nothing urgent, so I'm just going to stay on, though, just a little bit. We do have a storm warning. Oh, let's take a look at that tornado watch. That's right. I did mention that. Let's look at the tornado watch. Oh, I know it's on here. And there's nothing urgent, right? So tornado watch just means that it's possible, but there's nothing happening now. So watch and a warning, two different things, right? Nothing happening now. Let's try this. If you could see our system, you'd know why it was taking so long. Let's just go with this one. All right, so there's a thunderstorm warning. There. All this red, there we go, is the tornado watch. That's for northern Arkansas. All right, down to central Arkansas. It's not much, right? There's nothing really there right now. But the watch does go until 4 a.m., so the next 7 minutes, all right? And no talk of it being extended at this time, but it does go until, again, not 7 a.m., until 4 a.m. So just a few more minutes, and that watch will either expire or be extended. Let's take a look at radar. So there you go. Those are the counties for the tornado watch in Missouri. You're fine. There's nothing happening in Missouri. One severe thunderstorm warning in Howell County that will likely be allowed to expire. As that storm is not particularly strong. It's a strong storm, but it's not a severe storm, all right? That's that storm there north of West Plains. All the green, flood warnings. Yep, it had a lot of rain. It's still raining now, so flooding has become kind of the main problem for us. For most of southwestern Missouri and parts of central Missouri, the severe weather threat is over for us here in Springfield. I think we're done. We can safely say we're done. It's not done, though, across northern Arkansas. We are still keeping an eye on how things there evolve. All right, let's jump back into radar. Give you the big picture. I'm going to back out. Let everybody see what's going on here. So you can all have a good idea. All right. So nothing severe across Missouri at this time. A little stronger storm there. Put my pointer back on. What I'm talking about. Stronger storm here from West Plains up towards, going towards Summersville and Eminence. All right. So getting into Shannon County, getting into northern Oregon County. That's a little strong storm, but it's not severe. It's not crazy. It's nothing like that. Just a little windy, some heavy rain, a lot of thunder and lightning. So you're probably going to wake up with that storm there. So that's kind of the main show right now. Back here, okay, into The I-44 corridor from Lebanon to Marshfield to Springfield, Ava, all right, Mansfield, St. Robert. We had a question about St. Robert. Some rain and thunderstorms, but nothing too crazy. We're done. The severe weather risk for us in this line there that I'm pointing at is over with. No severe weather here, no severe weather expected there for the rest of the night. So if you're waking up because of thunder or lightning and you live in Springfield, go back to bed. You're fine. Don't worry about this. If you live here, though, if you're in Eminence, all right, if you're in Winona, if you're in Summersville, Alley Spring area, West Plains still, if you are in Alton, if you are in Thayer, it might be a little farther south. But if you're anywhere here in northern Oregon County, you're still looking at a thunderstorm there, and it's a strong thunderstorm. It's not really a severe thunderstorm. And so you can rest easy. It's going to be a little loud, though, with a lot of thunder and lightning coming out of that storm, but right now it looks like nothing more than that. Some gusty winds of 40 to 50 miles an hour, maybe a little bit of hail, up to dime-sized, so nothing significant at all. And, of course, some heavy rain and thunder and lightning with that storm line there. Latest update, it's now crossing into, Shannon County. Okay, I do want to zoom out and take a look at what's coming down the line because there is that, again, storm risk lingering across northern Arkansas. That's with this activity right there. I'm going to zoom into that because I'm thinking I'm starting to see something. But see something in a good way, not in a bad way. Let me preface that real quick. Right here is the next line of storms coming in. It's in eastern Oklahoma, okay, extending from the Bentonville, Arkansas area back through kind of eastern Oklahoma. That line there is the next wave of storms for you folks across northwestern through northern Arkansas. So you're not done with the storms yet. Huntsville, Berryville, Harrison, Jasper, Marshall, Mountain Home, Melbourne, northern Arkansas. You still have to get through this line here before you're finished, all right? But right now it's not severe. That risk is mostly down south and southeastern Oklahoma, and that will travel well down south into the Little Rock area. So anything up here, yep, low-end risk of maybe a stronger storm. But looking at this, like I mentioned before trailing off there, I'm going to zoom in. You can already see a little bit of an outflow boundary, which is good. We like that. Oh, where'd that radar view? There it is. Right there. So this is from the Fort Smith radar. Can I get Fayetteville? Okay, just get your bearings. There's Fayetteville at the top of your screen. So everything where the storms are going into is eastern Oklahoma. If I do a pointer, that faint green line right there from Weber Falls up to Westville, okay, getting into the west sides of Fayetteville, that faint green line is what we call the outflow boundary. Basically what that is it's all the air from the thunderstorm being pushed outwards, and it undercuts, like this is at the surface, okay, this is a surface-based outflow coming out from the thunderstorm. And what it does, it basically pushes all the instability away, and so the thunderstorm runs out of gas. And so when you see that outflow boundary, that faint green line on radar, typically that's a good sign that things are weakening. All right? And so for you folks in northwest Arkansas, we're talking about Fayetteville and Bentonville, and that will eventually get into the Huntsville area, Madison County, Carroll County, Boone County, Searcy County, all you folks, Jasper County. You're going to find some rain and thunderstorms still. You're not done yet, but the severe risk is lowering as we're seeing that outflow boundary undercut that storm line there. So that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. We like to see that. Okay, so let's zoom out again. Let me just do one final check-in here coming up on the 4 a.m. hour. And I may take a break coming up. And if something pops, may jump back on. I probably will jump back on again by sunrise, but if nothing blows between now and then, I might just end the coverage here. Okay, so looking at Saturday morning update. Before we go, a few thunderstorms and rain showers coming through the area. Nothing severe. There are no severe thunderstorms, no tornado warnings across the area. And it's a very, very low risk for anything like that to happen at this point everywhere, all right? Some thunderstorms rumbling through Eminence, Some thunderstorms rumbling through West Plains. Those are heading towards Alton. Okay, heading towards Winona. Eventually off towards Van Buren. Those are not severe. They're a little strong, a lot of thunder and lightning, but lightning does not make for a severe thunderstorm. All right? Lightning is just a thunderstorm. And so there's a lot of flashes, a lot of bangs going on for Shannon County and Morgan County, but nothing crazy. A little gusty winds, yeah, maybe some small hail, sure. Heavy rain, absolutely. Flooding is going to be a risk in some areas, as it is now in Springfield. But overall, the risk is pretty low. Not much going on. So I think we're going to call things here as we wrap up this live stream. Gone on for about 35 minutes now. Again, I'm Twister Tom, meteorologist Tom Schmidt. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, anywhere you like. Or if there's anything big happening, I'll jump on Ozarks first and give you an update here. So we're going to wrap things up. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for those who are still with us. Again, if you're waking up right now, there's nothing urgent happening. If something does pop, I'll jump back on here again and walk us through it. I'll also try to jump on air if it calls for it. Right now it did not, so not too concerned, not too worried. Thanks for joining in. This is a Saturday morning. I'll wrap things up here at 4 o'clock this morning. And rain showers continue through sunrise. Otherwise, severe weather looking pretty minimal right now. Have a good Saturday.